So I was recording a message and it was like really important. And then I got completely distracted and I started doing other things. And basically now I'm just returning that at the moment we are in a testing time and we need to keep strong and, fix our own ways. Also, on a small note, yes, the people probably that you were involved in are don't really understand because you understand the sheep are kind of like the catalyst for a big destruction. So you want it or you don't want it, but narcissists in your life, um, you irritate them, and it's like they might hide what they are doing, but they're still doing what they're doing. It's just it doesn't really work with you anymore, so they're using, you know, other people, and they're trying. It's like basically after trying so hard to get at the person, they're still kind of obsessed about it, but it's like because they haven't seen the reaction they needed, and to be fair, the karma for doing all this is striking now, so it might be a difficult place where to breathe, for many people who didn't learn from the lessons, who, still engage in the same behavior, because it's like if you're trying to cover up your lies or your behavior or use other people or do something foul, and you do pretty much anything for, to hide your ways or to delay the punishment or for money or for fame or to be called like big boss, or to be seen good, but deep inside it's like you're not, and everything then is like just a false, because there are a lot of people who wear many masks, not one, and you coming and exposing that it's not okay. Well, in their environment it's not okay because you are rebelling against their control, against their power. And well, by living your own life, you're kind of setting an example, and you're, shedding a lot of light on lies and on control and on bullshit. And also by your experience, for example, if the masculine is so obsessed with the feminine, yet he's willing to do whatever to hurt her, bring her down, that is like a big warning sign to other people, because, we all might be consumed by money or whatever, but we all are people in the end, and there are fine lines that once people cross, it's not human anymore, just, and that's it. And it's like if you do something, for example, to your family, like very foul, and other people know about it, or if you are ready to settle your friend, or you're ready to literally create any type of lie, twist the story, set someone up, you just create a name for yourself, and eventually your bad reputation caught up with you when you face someone who your tricks just didn't work and your ways are exposed. And well, for example, now I don't feel any type of way. At times I felt like, oh God, why is it happening to me? But again, it was happening not to me, it was happening for me. So in a way also, so you expose and you kind of kill that person, and you kill and you shatter their ego, but their ecosystem exists because they find new victims, and when they can't drink your energy, even though they're obsessed of drinking it again, because it comes, of course it's rare to meet someone real and live energy and passion and connected with like the most high. It's rare, of course they're gonna like, be thirsty, but they can't admit that they're thirsty because they're just how their human thing is built. It doesn't build that way. They're thirsty for the control, for the power they felt over your life, for gaining your benefits and your gifts for their life. They are thirsty when you were doing everything for them without questioning. They're thirsty for that. They're not thirsty for a relationship or love or giving you anything or apologizing. Not necessarily, not really. And they're just basically thirsty for you making their life. But anyways, the Satan I'm talking about more of a like with a masculine situation that I am channeling. And also, by the way, it just appears so, oh, she's crazy, for example, crying or something, thinking it's her divine masculine. No, 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 you got the story wrong. Because you see, that masculine who is probably having these girls crying for him, or making girls in love by doing exactly, he knows what he's doing by love, providing basically a false love story that they fall for, and then just exiting, and then he's hooked them up energetically, so he receives a lot of energy and self-satisfaction actually to maintain his lies and whatever his bullshit existence he's doing in his life, and fooling more other girls. And then he shows, well, did you see, I just have this crazy ex, she's just using my name all the time, for example. It's just horrible. But these masculines, they think really backwards. They don't think straightforward, and they really couldn't care less who's in front of them. It's you, it's their mom, it's their sister, it's some karmic. They really don't care as long as the job gets done. And you just did the job good. So that's why you were in the front lines, and that's why he wants the energy, because you just have something that he didn't have. And this is very interesting narrative that I'm channeling. This is definitely for someone, because yeah, okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. But yeah, so basically this masculine, like, to get to the bottom of place, why it's still bothering you also, because yes, energetically he's trying to hook up onto you. And believe me, he's not even gonna do it directly anymore, because he's just past that line. He knows he burned that bridge, and it's just too low of the ego burn to admit to come back after now this. Also, in his head, he just thinks, how much do you know? Like, he just thinks he's running kind of on a suicide mission right now. So, he it's not looking that promising there. um, Also, it's like, I've been thinking many times about this, about the narcissist, and about, is it possible to heal a narcissist? And my resolution is, it's not, you can't heal any person, not only a narcissist, but you can't heal any person that doesn't want to be healed. Let's start there. And that is it. If the person doesn't feel, even if they feel that there's something wrong with them, but they are not willing to do the work or to listen or to address the issue, you know, they're probably not going to be helped, and you can't help them. And also, spiritual warfare science 101, you eat a lot. Yeah, while I was recording this message, I decided it's a good idea to eat pistachio ice cream. But it's really tasty, but it's probably not a good idea to do this. But yeah, when they can't get at you, it's gonna start to manifest around you. For example, in your eating habits, or I mean, on a day like this, I love to eat. And honestly, I'm enjoying this ice cream a lot. Like, it makes my heart melt, but it distracts me from the message that I was recording, which is so funny. Because they're gonna do anything to distract. But also, I like how Holy Spirit uses this time. Because honestly, when the enemy tries to distract us with some things, Holy Spirit will always it's kind of regroup us on the page, on the subject, so on original subject. And by the way, talking about original subject was actually that spiritual warfare is at all times high now. But if you have been doing the work, the enemy ways is as obvious as clouds in the sky. Um, and you also see his agents, and you see who's who before they even approach or do anything. And it's not you being still. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means being wise in a spiritual warfare time. It's like, why try to build a castle when the ground is shaking? Like, shouldn't you wait first that the ground starts shaking and then build a castle? So, I just advise, be wise now. Don't get deceived by the times or by other people, by news, by anything. And don't be greedy, and don't be fearful. That's the last thing you should do. Or worry. Or pay attention to what the enemy is doing. Even like, don't wait for vindication, because it's like we don't see 99% of what's truly happening. And what is happening is like, seriously, expect the unexpected, because it's like they're walking through the bombshells and they do get hurt. And it's not a nice sight. And what that person is feeling, and when the people around him are involved, it's just like a vortex of bad things happening. And it's like such a good thing that you're out of there. You should be so proud. And it's like, pay attention that you're giving, like, actually you're like delaying the judgment, because the judgment lays upon the fact that when you stop caring, the faster you do, the faster it happens. Trust me, a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. It's like, a complete collapse of old ways. It's holding on like lost strings, literally. The saddest part is it just repeats itself and it gets worse. And it's, some people just don't learn. They reprobate brains doesn't allow that. It's like they think they're smart in whatever situation they're at, but they are very, very delusional about their situation and about, it's like, when many times someone tried to attack you and each time you got out, when the real danger comes, you're not as scared because you think you're going to get out like every other time. But you don't get that in the smallest situation that you ignore lies the biggest threat. So the masculines basically overlooked the biggest threat that was in front of them in an innocent way. It's like whatever you think you got control over is the least thing that you control. Because truly, the Most High controls. And you with your existence, you just have to do Most High's will. It's like, no way, your spirit didn't sit well with that. And no matter how many magic spells or what they done on you, it just didn't stick. It's like they tried to put you in this kind of dress or put you in these kind of obstacles or make you care any type of way, but you like stood every single test, like you saw through it. In fact, you saw before it was even coming, so that's what shook them away. It's like, what is she on if, like, what is happening if few days before we even do something, she already reacts to it? Like, how well is she connected, And you might not know this, but Most High is really working in amazing ways, and your enemy is never going to come to you and say, well, you know what, you're amazing. Wow, you're very strong. No way, that's like his defeat, And yeah, they're all this, all that, till they get a reminder who you are. And the funniest thing is, they can go into their delusions. Like every time, it's like, every time they do something stupid, they like get walls to come in front of you. They get in front of you. They remember who you are and how nothing in their head really fits to the picture. And they have to go back and they have to kind of explode into their existence. understand how fake and fucked up everything around them is. Because you shed light upon everything, like in a second. It's like a light switch. It's like, for example, you have a math equation in front of you that you have to solve, and you try for a month solving it. Like, you go from stages of being enlightened to desperation to this, like, you have like a very difficult time with it. And then someone comes and he's like, well, this is how you do it, 1, 2, 3. And then when that person leaves that just explains to you how to do it, you're like, first of all, you're like, what in A, but then like your own world collapses, because whatever thing you were thinking about you, that you're smart or you know anything, you understood that someone next to you knows so much better and whatever, and that is first of all a threat. Like, that is automatic threat, because that's how they first react. And then when you can't kill the threat, they become intimidated and scared, but yet they're observant, and there will be still moments when they try, and believe me, they are trying, but it's just depending on the situation. And even if not personally on you anymore, there are other people in exact same situation how you were when you were with them. And it might sound scary or hurt, but guys, men, if to make a deal or to do something, they'll dress as other people, they'll lie, they will, they'll do so many things, especially to the girl. They will make any kind of illusion stick, whatever works, whatever at that second their spirit of, um, decided to do, without much of even understanding, because, they're kind of, you see these people, they are people, but they're not really people. They are like reptilians, literally. They are lookalike people. They mimic people. They have no people's feeling. They operate by emotions that they generate, which is bad emotions normally. They're rushing, just not to pay attention to anything. They're very fast. They do a lot of things. They don't think things through. They also don't pretty much care who is around them or what they do or what kind of foul shit they do, as long as their shit gets done. They have more of power, more of energy. They truly don't care who you are. Like, it's very sad, but they don't. And also, whatever they say, they're gonna deceive you either way, sooner or later. And it works with absolutely everyone. They will lie looking straight into your eyes, and they'll create lies as they go upon going. And those people normally, they tend to not talk much, because when they talk, they kind of spill all their dirt. So they ignore 99% of their problems. So it's like they will make a pact with you, whatever they promise, till they need it. As soon as they don't physically, need anything from you, their communication with you will pretty much stop. And if you're annoying, they will retaliate against you, because now you're, interfering in their peace. So it's kind of your fault. And they use all this time reverse psychology, and they're very professional at their ways, because they've done so much. Truly, it's very sad, but they don't think alike. They only are irritated because your energy did not remind them of other energy. So your energy is rare. It has like a flavor to it, it's like a special kind of energy, and it just also made them feel kind of invincible, what was at the beginning. So yeah, they just need something similar. They're just like the junkies, and they will try and they'll stop for nothing. But the bad thing about it is you can't recreate that energy, because you already know who they are, and they're not willing to change, because to change means admit who they are, and they can't physically do that, because it's just, when someone is going to go to any extreme to get you back, witchcraft, energy manipulation, kill you or make spells against you or anything, and that because spiritually they're there, it's like they have signed an energetic signature. You can surf through the energy very easily. You can it doesn't affect you anyhow, but the spiritual signature of things, and the dreams and stuff like that, they let you know what is going on. So you'll know when they're back at it, but they'll try till there's any energetic connection. And the weird thing about it is that they will try even if there is no energy connection, because their mind fails to exit the circle. So even if you have exited a long time, the circle, for example, or that useless relationship, for some reason in their little mind they are still with you, connected as of yesterday, and they don't see any boundaries or any obstacles, and in fact they feel you as obligated to them as the day you met, and nothing has changed much. And so in their mind they're kind of offended, why are you not running back to them, and why are you taking so long? And they're pretty convinced in their head that sooner or later you will be back, and you basically gonna praise them, or just return, and everything is gonna be super fine, and that's pretty much it. um they just think basically that you're always going to be there, and they're just interested in your energy that makes things happen for them, that just suits um their cause. Basically they actually, it's like, it's very sad to say, but they just don't care about like personal relationship or whatever. They just care about the energy and the supply that they get. That, for example, you were doing A, B, and C, D for them, or they saw potentially you could do A, B, C, D, but then when you couldn't do A, B, C, D for whatever reason, or you exposed their ways, or you questioned their ways, you were no longer useful. But the energy, they still cared. And of course they're going to try to first hurt you and make you come back, and basically submit. But then when you don't do that, when you can't be controlled, they'll try magic, they'll try, and then you'll turn to their enemy, because their demon is irritated, like, okay, like, I have all this, and who the fuck is this in front of me, but they don't know that you are like most high's child, and you were there because he thinks that way. And ultimately you're living your own la 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 normal reality, and you're in front of seriously like a monster, and he doesn't know that you're actually the one that's gonna kill him. And you're like not scared at all, because it's like you kind of see, and you see the children of God were kind of bold. Like other people, they might lie, they might feel like, oh, we can't tell him the reality, or blah blah blah. So basically everyone like lies. And then when you're like really most child, you say how the fuck it is. You say directly. And then when you say directly how it is, it irritates people, because half of them, they think you lied, so they'll try to think the opposite. But then when they can't fit, they know it's truth, they're like kind of, it just takes people away, because they're so used to hearing lies. It doesn't, fit well. But anyways, they all narcissists and all sociopaths, they kind of are operating by the same handbook, just different people. And they just sometimes get very, very possessive till they kind of either occupy the person, or it works out really, really bad for them, or they kind of kill the person. And I mean, it's just not that like I'm saying it like, oh, but it's just a true psychopath or a true sociopath, and there are not that many true ones. I mean, there are people with the tendencies, or there's narcissists, with limits, but there are only few of those people. Like, they usually live very evil side. They are very balanced, they look very highly functioning people, but they're very, very evil sociopaths. But yet on the outside they'll basically try to hide all their ways. And these people, if they're being exposed, they will stop at nothing. So I'm talking about true sociopaths. I'm not talking about some low key people, that are just reptilians. I'm talking a little bit about different. I'm talking about people, what's going on in big corporations and with big CEOs, with people who are making money, who are, you know, um, yeah, and it's just, the house is like the tower is being shaken. Like seriously, the time is. It's like whatever you didn't fix now shall be exposed, and yeah. But I feel like the feminines and the masculines are very much separated, like crazy separated energetically and like time wise, like crazy pulled apart, like completely. I feel very sorry about the feminines who didn't heal in themselves the parts that were hurting, because before that I would be crying or whatever, the twin flame, or being hurt, like, oh, he's doing this, and I would still pray for him and whatever, not actually accepting that he is actually a piece of, you know, and that the Satan used him all this time to just imitate what the love is of God and what the love was originally planned for me. So it's just like, don't let them fool you at all, or don't let them take your energy. Don't even bother. They are so going down, and it's not even them going down, it's like it has to be done. And don't wait for it, because we don't know when it's supposed to happen, because sometimes the Most High is building up the tower, and if you kind of link your existence to their vindication, or to, for example, that day, or to the judgment day, or to anything, anything apart from today, your God, yourself, your soul, and what is right for you today, it's not going to be cute. And I'm just saying, because we see what is happening to the masculines and how fake and fucked up their life is and what their choices are. But guess what? They're not choosing it because they can choose better. So if you can choose better, you have to start choosing better and, cleaning yourself out. And I don't want to sound ridiculous, but building a new life takes as much effort as demolishing the old one and grieving the old one, because it takes actually balls to do the new, to quit old things and to do things new way. It takes balls. It takes balls to admit your own fucked up ways. It just takes a lot of courage and disconnection and letting go. But what letting go means is not only separating yourself physically and like stop, like for example sleeping around or something, but letting go means letting go that timeline, letting go that principality as a whole, because it's like, can you help on a massive level? No. But are you the one that exposing it truly? No. What can you do? You can only pray about it to the Most High, and that's it. And you can also trust that the Most High knows what He's doing. Don't you think He created everything and He knows exactly why what is happening? So just learn what that situation is doing for you, in order so you don't sin, so you don't kind of, you know, steal from yourself the vindication, basically. And also before that, I had a poem, but I'm not sure if my iPhone is synchronized from one to another. So if it is, I'm gonna read it. If it's not, then yep, it is. So before that, I was sitting down, and this what came. It is a warning. Do you know the standard is high? I pay dearly, so stand up to the attacker. I gave you authority. I put my trust inside your hands. Will you turn away from my ways? When you look at yourself, are you heavenly imaged? Are your ways clear and light the way I am? Stop pointing fingers. Yes, we know their ways. Does it help blaming other? When you're the one that hurt, we can teach yet fail the lesson. We can wait the vengeance that in vain. Who evangels angels upon this earth? Who owns wrath? Who is above time? Who are you to say his time? Who are we to say we are worthy? For worthy is he who gave his life. We sink in our high notions, fighting same thing in different images. Hear me, but they didn't hear. Do you think people then and people now are different? Not at all. Some game at play. Watch your steps. Your neighbor will worry about himself. Hope and cleanse, so you may be found worthy too. Don't miss his holy day. Be slow to anger and repent your ways, for he who knows the heaven also knows your heart. New ways pay differently, also benefit are for better ways. Yeah. And benefits are far better. And I think that, and I read it a little bit wrong, but whatever came up, sometimes it happens. And this is for the 144 because the standard is very, very high. The standard is super high. And you have to literally like try to become the best version of yourself, the more clean version of yourself that you can possibly be. And that is not an easy task, but that is a doable task. So the number one task is to kind of separate yourself so much far energetically that sometimes you forget who they are. In fact, this is what happens to me. A lot of times I truly people message me and I don't remember who they are. And I'm like, I truly forgot about your existence. So it means I truly am disconnected from you and they still care. And that's how, you should look, that you should have a completely new life by now. And I know spiritual warfare is real when things die out. And sometimes we have to wait while the ground is shaking, to start building castle. But that doesn't mean you can't cleanse your house inside out, prepare completely, know what you're doing, so the enemy. So when you start doing it, you do it 100. So this is my encouragement for you today. Have a good night.